She never expected Faith to find her between the quiet shelves she dusted each morning. Yet that was where everything began for Claire Dawson, a small-town librarian who had grown used to silence, order, and the comfort of things that did not change. Unlike her life, which had shattered the winter her younger brother passed away without warning, leaving her drifting through days that felt hollow, heavy, and dim. She worked because work kept her upright, moving from cart to shelf with a tired rhythm, avoiding conversations, smiles, questions, anything that might open the door to grief she had no strength to face. But one Monday morning, while checking in a stack of returned books, she opened a worn hardback novel and found a small handwritten note tucked at the margin, not a full sentence, just a verse reference, Psalm 34 minutes and 18 seconds. She knew enough, scripture to recognize it, but not enough to feel anything at first. Yet curiosity nudged her to look it up during her lunch break. And when she read the words, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit," something in her chest trembled, soft but undeniable, as if God had whispered through paper. She told herself it was coincidence, an ordinary scribble missed by the last reader. But 2 days later, she checked in another book and found a second note in the margin, this time written inside the bottom corner with delicate handwriting. Isaiah 41:10, "Do not fear, for I am with you." She closed the book and steadied her breath, unsure why her hands trembled, unsure why she felt seen by a stranger. She tried to dismiss it again, yet every week more books arrived with verses hidden like breadcrumbs, meant for one pair of eyes. Always verses about comfort, about strength, about hope for the faint-hearted, and Claire began to look for them the way a wanderer looks for lanterns on a dark road. She tucked each note into a small envelope she kept inside her desk drawer, never telling anyone, not even Mrs. Harlow, the senior librarian who often asked if Claire was doing better. She was not doing better, not really, but she was no longer drowning. The notes felt like a hand reaching through fog, guiding her towards something she could not name. One night after closing, while shelving books in the quiet children's section, she noticed a volume slightly out of place, and when she pulled it free, a slip of paper fell onto her shoe. Her heart thudded. The words written inside were longer this time. "You think you are alone, but God has been waiting for you to turn your face toward Him again." She pressed the note to her chest and sank onto a small wooden chair, tears breaking open for the first time since the funeral. She did not know the author, but she knew the truth in those lines, raw and tender like a wound touched by light. Over the next weeks, the notes continued, always in returned books, always written with the same gentle hand. Not preachy, not intrusive, just steady reminders that the God she once trusted had not abandoned her. Something inside her slowly awakened, like frozen ground meeting spring rain. She began praying again, quietly at first, then earnestly, telling God everything she had buried, and each time she prayed, she felt less alone. Yet one question grew stronger. Who was writing these notes, and did they know what they were doing to her heart? She scanned every return stack, watched every patron with a curious gaze, but the mystery remained closed until a cold November evening when a woman approached the desk holding a torn paperback. Her coat was thin, her face weathered, her posture apologetic. Claire recognized her instantly, not by name but by memory, because months earlier this same woman had asked to come inside the library to warm up. And Claire, exhausted and guarded, had turned her away, telling her the rules did not allow loitering. The woman had left quickly with a quiet nod, and Claire had forgotten her, until now. The woman placed the book gently on the counter and whispered that she hoped the late return fee would not be too high. Claire assured her it was fine, and as she opened the book to scan it, she froze. Inside the margin was the same handwriting she had memorized over the past months. Her breath caught. She looked up slowly and asked, voice unsteady, "Did you write this?" The woman hesitated, then nodded with shy embarrassment. saying she sometimes left verses for people because she believed God used small things, and she hoped it was not unwelcome. Claire felt tears rise again, but this time they carried gratitude instead of grief. She told the woman those notes had kept her from collapsing, that they felt like someone had reached into her sorrow and lifted her toward light. The woman's eyes glistened as she murmured that she had prayed over every verse she wrote, not knowing who would find it, but trusting God to place it where needed. Claire stepped around the counter without thinking and embraced her, holding the frail shoulders that trembled under worn fabric, realizing that the very person she had once denied warmth had been the instrument God used to warm her own frozen heart. The woman apologized for overstaying earlier months, saying she was between shelters and tried not to cause trouble. Claire shook her head and said she was the one who needed forgiveness. She invited the woman inside, made her tea, and listened as the woman shared her story of hardship, faith, and wandering. Something holy filled the quiet space between them. Over the next days, Claire arranged help through local services, ensuring the woman found a safe bed, meals, and support. Yet even as circumstances improved, the woman insisted she was not the one who saved Claire. She only wrote what God placed on her heart. The saving was God's alone. Claire knew it was true. Her grief no longer felt like an anchor. It felt like soil where compassion grew. She returned to church, reconnected with friends, and began leading a small group that wrote encouraging notes for hospital patients, shelter residents, and anyone who needed hope tucked into the margins of their life. She called the project Margin Light, inspired by the stranger who once scribbled truth into returned books. And every time she walked through the library now, she saw more than shelves, more than order, more than silence. She saw the path where God had met her gently through, anonymous verses that were never anonymous to Him. She kept every note in a wooden box. And sometimes at closing time she opened the lid, read each line, and whispered gratitude for the homeless woman she had once turned away, who became the messenger she had needed at the moment she thought God had forgotten her. But God had not forgotten. He had written hope into her story long before she saw it. And now she lived with a heart tuned to the small miracles that hide inside ordinary days, knowing that her calling was simple: pass the light forward, one quiet verse at a time. Welcome, dear friend. This is Faith Light Stories, where every story reminds us that God never leaves us. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if this story stirred something inside you, leave a comment below and share how God has spoken to you in moments when you felt unseen. Because your words may become the verse someone else finds in the margin of their life today.